if you would not be a Swami, what you would be?
Actually, not really. In the sense, if I try to imagine, okay, where could I have landed up?
Yeah.
What could have happened? Um, I really have no idea, because like I said, when I was young, already I had this thing that, so maybe if I wouldn't have been a Swami, I would have become a Buddhist monk, who knows? This whole monk lifestyle was something very, like, it was a very deep impression. I had a strong pull towards that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I met Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar when I was only 16, in high school.
Yeah.
So I started my journey, my practices, spiritual practices. Of course, even before that, I used to do a little bit of meditation and all.
Yeah.
But so that started at such an early age. So even during my studies, like my university studies, I had already chosen something that I found interesting, because many of my friends went straight to university from high school. I took a 1-year break because I had gone to visit some of the universities, checked out different things, but there was nothing that really caught my attention that I said, yes, I want to spend another 3-4 years doing this. So I thought, I'm not going to just do something for the heck of it, for the
Yeah.
sake of it. Let me take a gap year. So 6 months I worked, earned some money, went to India for 3 months to travel around. This is the first time also I went to Bangalore.
Yeah.
And by that time I was still trying to figure out what to do. And a friend of mine, she had decided to study languages and cultures of China. And
Okay.
she had found, like, in Leiden, the city where I was born also, they offered this. And they had a few of these different streams which were similar. And she saw that they had one also, which was languages and cultures of India and Tibet, also known as Indology.
Okay.
And she thought, oh, this is something for him, because she knew me, she knew about my interests, my passions, all these things. And I still remember she sent me a message saying that, this is something I came across and I think this is something you may like. And when I saw that, I was like, yes, this is something I can do, because you have a chance of learning Sanskrit, you're learning about Hinduism, Buddhism, all these traditions. And I thought, yeah, I would love to learn about mantras and all these things. And then there was an option to combine it with a minor in journalism and new media. So I thought, okay, that's at least something practical, because Indology is, I couldn't think of any possible job you could do with that. So I thought, at least for the sake of, man has to earn also. I thought, okay, let me do the journalism on the side, because I like to write. So I thought that's something practical. But so even there, if you see, like, during my studies, as you have to finish, your classes, your topics, your subjects, and your assignments. But whenever I had a chance, I would choose something that I found interesting. So, for example, my thesis, I wrote about the life stories of Adi Shankaracharya, one of the greatest saints and philosophers of India, simply because I was so interested. The stories, they're full of miracles, and the high level philosophy, the Vedanta which he used to teach. So I've always had this interest and work towards that, you can say. So if it had to be something else, I really wouldn't know. At the same time, I know that I can take up anything and really excel in it, even when I was younger. Because few times it used to happen that I become enthusiastic about something, whether it was one of my sports, like one of the martial arts, or any other hobby, and I would pick it up very quickly. So then it came to a point where I knew that, okay, if I really want to go for it, I can excel in this. But then there was this voice inside which told me, no, but this is not what I want to do with my life. There was this inner calling was there.
Yeah.
And when I met Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and I started practicing these things that we do in the art of living, the techniques and the knowledge, that voice told me, yeah, this is it. So I went for it happily. And that way, of course, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see. I would have never imagined that just 10, 15 years later, I would go from being that course participant to not just being that teacher or that advanced course teacher, but even becoming a Swami. I could have never imagined. We used to meet. Those days there were 2-3 Swamis. And I used to think, oh, wow, this is so amazing. You see someone, and now I'm sitting with these same people and we're sitting together in an office, discussing when we have a meeting. And I still sometimes feel a little bit like that little boy who feels like, he won the jackpot, because all this, like, my idols, you can say, those people that I used to look up to as the exemplary disciples of my master. And now I'm in the same club, So for me, sometimes still I feel like, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I just feel very grateful. And to be able to serve in that respect is a great privilege, I feel. Yeah. And I'm very conscious of that. Yeah.